From each happily ever after, every wish upon a star. Let's break down the movies that shaped who we are. From memory lane to now and everything in between. The most famous of films to the ones we've never seen. Decade by decade, all the times we laughed and cried, and with a little pixie dust, they will all take flight. Reliving the feelings, and we're trying our very best. And if they mean the same to you, please be our guest. So hop aboard, we would love to have you as we hang with a certain mouth, the whole gang too. If you love nostalgia stuff, we hope this does the trick. Thanks for joining us as we deep dive the magic.
Hi, and welcome back to the Deep Diving the Magic podcast. I'm KJ.
And I am Jeffrey, and we are back today with the 162nd Disney feature-length film from May the 5th of the year 1985. It is a film called The Undergrads. The Undergrads is another Disney Channel film. And we'd like to start us off with a synopsis about the 162nd film, The Undergrads.
An elderly man discovers that his son wants to put him in an old age home. However, the old man's grandson refuses to allow it, and the man and his grandson wind up being roommates.
Yeah, thoughts? Have you heard about it before? What was your overall take and everything?
I had never heard of it before. It was surprisingly a good film. I wasn't sure how I would like it. Comedic, touching.
Yeah,
Lots of things, actually.
I mean, it played on the Disney Channel before we were born, obviously, but it was surprising.
Yeah.
It was a surprising thoughts.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say before we do a quick little dive in about it?
I guess I would have to say that thus far, the Disney Channel films, I have liked them a lot better than I thought I would.
Mm-hmm.
They've hit the mark thus far.
Yeah, this is a good one. This is a
Yeah.
good hit the marker.
I don't think I had anything else really. You want to just dive on in?
All right, so we meet this old dude named Mel,
Mhm.
who is a happy-go-lucky, loving life kind of guy. He is having a good time. Everybody knows who he is. He is just living life.
Mhm.
And then he goes to the grocery store and catches his apartment on fire.
Well, when he gets home.
Want to talk about that? Anything?
So he lives in an apartment by himself, and he was making dinner, and some kind of light caught some kind of papers. Wasn't it papers on fire? And then started
Because there was like no electricity or whatever.
the fire in his house. And because of this, the son just doesn't want to deal with it and is like, well, he's not going to stay with us forever. So he obviously has him in his home with his family, which is him, his wife, and the son that's about to go off to college and had been accepted to Harvard. And
Jody.
yeah, that was, well, that's not really his name, I guess, but that's what the grandpa calls him.
The
Which
father seems to be like a big shot. Doesn't have
Yeah.
a great relationship with his own father.
Yeah, but I feel like the grandfather at one point told us he was gonna tell us why he calls him Jody, but I don't think he ever did.
Yeah, I don't know. His
Anyway,
name is Dennis. They call him Jody.
yeah.
Jody gets accepted into Harvard,
Which
but
I
he
guess
has a
is
great
what his
relationship with his
dad
grandfather.
wants.
Yep. His dad is a go-getter, no BS kind of guy.
Mhm.
They move Mel into the retirement home. He clearly doesn't fit in there.
Mhm.
Jody goes to visit him and tells him that he's decided that he's going to go to a local college instead so that Mel could live with him instead of having to live in the retirement home,
Mhm.
which makes
Although he was in the retirement home for a little bit, and there was a comedic scene with him and some of the other gentlemen that he was living there with, and he was trying to teach them how to play cards, and you got to really put something into it. You got to slam the cards down when it's your turn. You can't just slowly do it, which I thought was funny.
so then this old man that we found out was only 68 years old, which blows my mind, but this old man decides that you know what, he's going to enroll in college too.
Mhm.
He's had a dream to go to college, but the administration is not too keen on a 68-year-old dude being a freshman.
Yep.
but he just convinced this one lady to let him in there.
Well, he tried to go get his records, but the high school's no longer there. It was torn down, so
Yeah,
he
so he goes
doesn't
to
even know
like
where to go.
he has like this one friend who he calls like hobo or whatever.
Yeah,
Um, but
really
um,
enjoyed Hobo.
they
Wasn't his
he
name like Herbert?
yeah, I have no idea. They end up getting the he gets um one person to trust him. She gets him enrolled, but he has to get a bunch of C averages to be able to stay there.
Yeah, he has to have a passing average, so he's basically going in on academic probation
Mhm.
to see if he can pass his first semester.
Um, and then it cuts to a lot of hijinks with them trying to afford college life
Hmm.
because the parents cut off Jody because he didn't go to
Well, the
Harvard.
dad did. The mom doesn't really seem to care.
So they go on a budget. They end up buying like a motorcycle on a sidecar to get around because the grandfather can't walk that much. Jody gets a job at a health food store, which ends up being like a front for like a bookie in the mob or whatever, which gets him in trouble. Um, Mel ends up doing good in English because the professor lady Nancy kind of has a crush on him. Want to talk about that? Anything about that?
I mean, as a professor, you're not supposed to date your students
Dude's 68 years
or
old
show any
though.
interest in them.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I feel like today it would have been a big to do, and she would have gotten in lots of trouble. Plus, he would have probably gotten in trouble. But I guess during that time frame, it wasn't as big of a deal. But I was like, oh my gosh, if this was during the day, this would not
yeah,
fly.
she is having it. He is not letting it happen. He's not doing great in school, but he continues to study. Everybody like in his class try to help him.
Hmm.
Um, Jody ends up getting caught in like the illegal gambling, which ends up getting the grandfather beaten up,
Well,
which puts him in the hospital.
it wasn't actually him getting caught. He was just at work, which was the front, and they thought he knew something about it, which he knew nothing about it, but the grandfather obviously had just kind of figured it out.
But he ends up getting beat up for that, which puts him in the hospital, which makes him feel bad. So he decides that he's going to drop out of school. Um,
I don't remember him getting beat up for that. I thought he got sick,
no, he gets beat up. They punch the dude in the face. He ends up in the hospital.
but it wasn't for that.
Yeah. Mel is hospitalized after being assaulted by a man who wrongfully believed he tipped the police off to the gambling operation.
I guess, but he had to come and get the grandson out of jail.
Yeah, this was after that.
No, I don't remember him doing that
Yeah, he
after.
ends up in the hospital for getting beat up. Uh, Mel decides that he's going to drop out of school, which makes Jody start to, you know, try to take care of his grandfather. Um,
He's been taking care of him.
Mel leaves a note saying that he doesn't want to mess up anything, and he messed up things with the lady because he wouldn't kiss her.
Hmm.
Um, Mel goes back to the retirement home. Jody goes to find him, tries to convince him to return to school, but he refuses until we find out that Hobo passed away.
Yeah. Well, you forgot to mention that Hobo also came and
So, yeah.
stayed with the grandpa for a weekend,
Mhm.
and they did stuff around campus and stuff.
Old man
And
stuff.
the whole time I kept thinking he's sleeping too much. Hobo's too tired. Hobo's not gonna make it.
But that ends up making Mel decide that he's going to return to classes.
Yeah, he's gonna make the most of
He
things.
gets this warm reception, and the whole school kind of bands together to help him pass.
Yeah.
He does fail history because they had this hard history teacher dude who doesn't take anything for an answer. But his love interest lady, English teacher, ends up passing him enough for him to graduate or him to pass
The
freshman
quarter
year.
or
And
the
that's our
first
movie,
semester.
and they ride off in the sidecar. And
Hmm.
what did I miss?
Well, when he's finding out his grades as they're coming in, he basically had them all except for two, and then he went to the bar that was underneath their apartment and was waiting on his grades to come in. was hanging out with his son, and all the people that had helped him from college, all the students that had helped him study and stuff, they're all like waiting with him as well to find out what his grades are because they all want him to like make it. And um he finds out he passes, and his daughter-in-law comes, and he's like,
Oh,
"Oh,
yeah.
what are you doing here?" And she's like, "Well, I was told that we had something to celebrate." And then the son, the dad of the main character, I guess, and the son of the grandfather comes and basically kind of makes amends and tells him that he's really proud of him
Yeah.
because the son earlier had stopped and said the reason he wasn't around for you was because he was working hard to make sure that you had the things that you needed. And that's one of the things that he regrets is not having more time with you. So he's like, you could at least talk to him about how proud you are of him and not be so hard on him. Um, and then I guess he must have realized, like, yeah, maybe my dad wasn't a terrible person and I shouldn't be so hard on him. And he shows up and hugs his dad and tells him he's very proud of him. And then he makes it and
And
he passes the quarter and is gonna go on.
and that's our film. And it was substantially better than I thought it was going to be. And it's the best Disney Channel film that we've watched so far.
Yep. Point.
So what you rate it?
I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
IMDb gives it a 6.4 out of 10.
It was good, man.
It was good.
So how good?
A tearjerker good.
My favorite kind.
I'm not usually a fan of tearjerkers. But so starting out with number 10, we've got the Apple Dumpling Gang rides again.
No.
Yes.
Apple Dumpling Gang is lower than the Apple Dumpling Gang. That's again.
Oh, excuse me. The Apple Dumpling Gang. The Apple Dumpling Gang rides again. The Undergrads.
At
Dumbo.
number 8.
Dumbo. Sleeping Beauty. The Parent Trap. The Fox and the Hound. Tex. 101 Dalmatians. And The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. The strongest man in the world held on for so long.
Too long, some may say. Wasn't quite strong enough to be an old man.
Whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, I like this film. It was good. I, however, did not like it more than I like Pete's Dragon. So my list upon a star is staying the same at number 10, Pete's Dragon, number 9, Bedknobs and Broomsticks, number 8, Alice in Wonderland, number 7, The Fox and the Hound, number 6, Robin Hood, number 5, Peter Pan, number 4, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, number 3, Mary Poppins, number 2, The Rescuers, and number 1, 101 Dalmatians. But we watched The Undergrads, another Disney Channel feature-length film.
Yeah, we did.
It was good though. I enjoyed it a lot. Speaking of movies that we watched, our next film, also from 1985, we're going back to the theatrics. We are no longer on the Disney Channel for a little bit, for at least the next movie. And it is film number 163. And not only are we returning to the theater,
Mhm.
not only are we returning to not being on the Disney Channel, not only are we returning to a Disney feature-length film,
Mhm.
you know what else we're returning to?
Mhm.
Oz, because we're watching Return to Oz. And let me tell you,
The ass.
it's an odd one.
What what do you think made them decide what movies they were just going to put out on the Disney Channel and then what they were going to release in theaters?
I
Like
don't know.
what was the deciding characteristics?
I mean, it makes
Because
sense why they put Return to Oz on there. It was going to be a big one.
I feel like they missed they missed some on this, I guess.
I don't know.
Anyway, it was good. I enjoyed it.
But yeah, so our next film is The Return to Oz. And man, are we going to have some stuff to say about that one. But before we get there, thanks for hanging out with us. We are on Instagram. Come say hello. Deep Dive in the Magic. We are on Spotify and YouTube where you can see all of this happen. And that's Deep Dive in the Magic. And of course, we are on, if you want to write to us, deepdiveinthemagicpod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. But we are going to float a little bit deeper into 1985 for film number 163, The Return to Oz, which we will talk to you about then.
Thanks for deep diving the magic.
Bye.
Bye.